Something in the UK has changed drastically, and for the worse. Once upon a time, an innocent man being shot as part of a mistaken identity near a children's playground would happen few and far between. It would be headline news, but now it happens multiple times a day. 35-year-old Demetrios Kyriacou rounded up his gang. That included 40-year-old Nathaniel Reece, 35-year-old Matthew Hardy, and 40-year-old Darren Dredge, after he had become a victim of a theft back in December 2020 in his own area at Islington at a time of 12:50 p.m, peak hours, peak time, a time when mums, dads and children would have been on the street and seen the bad man become a victim, and that would hurt his pride. Now, 4 unknown men had stopped their black BMW on Carville Street, Islington. They approached Demetrios and snatched a Rolex right off his wrist, pocketed his iPhone and took the money from his pocket as if it never belonged to Demetrios in the first place. Now, once the 4 unknown men were finished with Demetrios, they left the 35-year-old victim with lumps and bruises and just left him on the street. Now, after the robbery, which is a crime, of course Demetrios was angry. He was viewing the world through tinted lenses, full of revenge, and he did not care who would become the victim of his revenge, innocent man or otherwise. Now, because Demetrios was a victim of theft, the police spoke to Demetrios, and he was not forthcoming with information. All he told the police was he had no idea who robbed him, but he did tell them he thought that they could have had a weapon. Now, Demetrios did not want the police's help. This was personal, and he wanted to resolve the matter himself. So what he did was, he told his mates Nathaniel, Matthew and Darren and a few others to meet him at 6 Acres Estate. The gang then used the iPhone app Find My Phone to locate Demetrios' iPhone. They drove to the last known area armed with a pistol with live ammunition and arrived at the scene the same day at 3:20 p.m. Now the group then walked into the alleyway where the phone's location was set, and they found the people that had stolen Demetrios' items, while of course robbed him. At first, it was rumoured that Demetrios was the one who fired 14 times into the alleyway. However, in the midst of the shooting, 22-year-old Imani Allaway-Muir was walking through the carnage. Unbeknownst to him, Demetrios and his gang were trying to end lives. 22-year-old Imani was struck 4 times for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Again, this was a completely innocent man. He had nothing to do with this situation. Now, after the incident, Imani was found by emergency services laying unconscious in a children's playground 20 metres from where he was shot. The 22-year-old victim was pronounced dead just 30 minutes later. Now, as for the people responsible, Demetrios, Nathaniel and the others, they fled the scene in a black Range Rover and other cars. Now, while police investigated the crime, it appeared apparent that Nathaniel Reece was the one who shot the gun after being given the orders by Demetrios. Now, for the merciless killing, Demetrios and Nathaniel Reece received life imprisonment sentences with a minimum term of 31 and 33 years respectively. Now, for the manslaughter of Imani, Darren and Matthew received 10 years and 7.5 years. Again, this was an innocent man who lost his life just because he was walking, and for all of that he was shot 4 times. Condolences. Stay safe.